Foo Fighters is my favorite band of all time. I love the personality of Dave Grohl. I love his storytelling. So the fact that I saw that he was going to be making a horror comedy called Studio 666, well, my excitement kind of peaked. We haven't gotten a band movie like this since what? Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny? A very great film, may I say. But Studio 666, if you've seen the trailer, you know exactly what kind of movie you're getting, and it's quite entertaining. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're going to be discussing Studio 666. This again stars the likes of the Foo Fighters, Jenna, Ortega, Forte. This movie is about the members of the rock band the Foo Fighters moving into a mansion to record their 10th rock and roll album. Once in the house, singer Dave Grohl finds himself grappling with the supernatural forces that threaten both the completion of the album and the band members' lives. Now, again, if you've seen the trailer, you know exactly what kind of movie you're getting here. It's not going to be your Oscar-worthy cup of tea. It's not even going to be one of the best horror films you've ever seen, nor even one of the best horror comedies. The thing with Studio 666 is it knows exactly what it is. It's a bunch of friends coming together to make a horror comedy, and that's really it. They filmed this movie secretly during the pandemic, and, you know, I like when maybe rock stars try to go out of their bounds. And for me, if you've ever attended a Foo Fighters concert, you understand who Dave Grohl is. This guy very much is a storyteller. The first concert I ever went to with the Foo Fighters, there was something that he really much did. And it was, yeah, he played the music, rock and roll, head nodding, all sorts of things like that. But the thing that he did so well was that he weaved a story throughout his entire concert, telling stories like this. And that is something that he loves doing. And the fact that it says story by Dave Grohl, I'm not even shook by. It does feel like something that he would tell at like a campfire. And for me, this is a film that, if you're a Foo Fighters fan, you're going to get a lot more kick out of this than, say, if you're just the general movie-going audience who has no idea who the Foo Fighters are or who has no idea who Dave Grohl is, and you go and watch this. If that's you, you're probably going to think this is like the dumbest, stupidest movie you've ever watched before. And if you're a Foo Fighters fan, you're probably going to watch this and be like, that was fun, but it was the stupidest film I've ever seen before. And I kind of agree with that. Like, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny for me was such a fun, delightful surprise from Tenacious D. And it works because it knows what it is. Studio 666 knows exactly what it is, but it does try to go above and beyond at times, and this isn't a great movie. In fact, there's a lot of issues that I had with it, but it's a movie that I had a lot of fun with, and a lot of that is because of the band itself, their personalities coming through, and their interactions with one another. That is what really made me enjoy this movie, and that's what I love, is because I love watching like behind-the-scenes stuff of bands interacting. And I kind of get that in Studio 666. They're all playing themselves, so you very much enjoy that and get into that mold. As well as some of the horror elements in here, while I was never scared, there are some really good cinematography shots. One in particular that you've probably seen in the trailer where Dave Grohl's in his bed and you see all these demons and the storm around him. Very much brought me back to some of the third act of Ghostbusters, and I really like that. Like, they actually brought to life like a lot of elements from other horror movies, and they all at the same time, they never make it too serious. They always add in that nice little bit of humor, and it feels like something that Sam Raimi would have made back in the late 90s or even early 80s. And that's something to really much give a big shout out to, is because, again, the movie knows what it is, and you're having fun while watching it because of the personality that you have within the Foo Fighters. Also, when you come to a horror movie, especially an R-rated one, you do want some brutal kills. And I will say this, I was quite shocked to see how grand some of these kills were and the prosthetics used for them. Not all of them are visual effects. A majority of this is used for actual practical effects, and it harkened back to those early 90s days, even old school music videos that did have demonic stuff in it. That is the elements that I really liked that they did in this movie. And again, one of the kills in here happens to be with a chainsaw, and I like lost my shit. I'm like, that is awesome. Have fun with it. And I had fun with it. And while, again, this is not a great made movie, and in fact, like, if I turn on my critical brain, there's a lot of issues with this movie, but as a Foo Fighters fan, I had fun. And, you know, maybe my biasness is on there. Yeah, sure. But what can I say? I mean, I really do believe that, like, if you are a Foo Fighters fan, you're going to love this. Or even someone who just loves rock and roll. Like, you will have fun with this because you understand what it is. But before we get to my cons and my mixed bag elements of the movie, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking movies on TV over here on a daily basis. I love talking movies, and I want to keep talking it with you guys. So again, hit that like and subscribe button, as well as leave your guys' thoughts down below. You guys a fan of the Foo Fighters? Are you not? Are you excited for this movie? Let's talk about it. Moving over to my mixed bag elements, one of the things I gotta say is the performances. And it's really just a mixed bag because they are just playing themselves. And if you know the Foo Fighters, you're gonna get that. But again, what did you expect from this? Oscar-worthy performances? No, and you shouldn't have. And talking about my cons, this is where I kind of do need to get a little bit more critical, because while I did have fun with this movie, I found that there probably could have been even more fun with the film. At almost an hour and 50-minute runtime, I found the film to be way too long in its length, which actually dragged out the pacing considerably way too much. And I sat there going, really? Like, this is how much long this film is? Like, there was a point where I swore there was maybe only 10 minutes left, and there was a good 30 minutes. That is not good pacing. And that even going down to the story by itself, like the screenplay, there were elements that I would have removed to really much help with that as well. And that's also like a directing and editing standpoint that really needed that threshold to bring to life this movie. Because it feels like it ends and then it has like another ending. And I hate when movies do that, and it wasn't done like intentionally. Like, this was done because it needed the story to be told that way. But I did feel like that Studio 666 was way too long in its length for what could have just been an enjoyable film. And if you would have scraped like 20 to 30 minutes off this movie, it would have been honestly a fun-ass horror comedy that I would have had a blast with from top to bottom. A lot of my issues do stem from that. I didn't really have any issues with the performances or the direction or even the kills or, you know, none of that stuff ever bothered me. But I do want to say, if you are a fan of Jenna Ortega or Will Forte and you are going to this movie for them to see this movie, don't. Because they are barely in this movie. Will Forte maybe has like 5 minutes of screen time in here, and it's fun for when he's in here. Jenna Ortega maybe has 2. Now, I love Jenna Ortega. I think she was amazing in The Fallout. I thought she was great in You Season 2, and I thought she was fantastic in Scream. She's barely in this. And what she's in it for? Cool. But there was like barely enough of her in here. But she's starting to become a Scream queen, like a famous one, because she has like a couple moments in here that do in particular go to that, and it was awesome to see. But it's the Foo Fighters movie. Like, this is a Foo Fighters movie with some fun cameos along the way. Studio 666, if you've seen the trailer, you know exactly what to expect. I expected that. I went in. I had some fun. I love the Foo Fighters, but I definitely think the pacing and in general, the length of this movie needed to be shortened. Really, I enjoyed it. What can I say? So with all that said, I'm going to give Studio 666 a C+. It was enjoyable. I think if you're a Foo Fighters fan, you should absolutely go check this out. If you're a Critical Brain member who definitely needs a little bit more from their horror comedies, I don't know if this will be for you, but you can kind of make up to your own judgment from that, from my review and of course the trailer. But thank you once again, guys, for watching this. You guys are really all the best. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below your guys' thoughts. Head on over to Samtron Films on how to see films early. And of course, a big thank you to you and a big thank you to everyone watching this. So of course, until next time, stay classy.